My rear trailer is 289,779. Right here. So what I'm going to do is try to keep me from having to touch that dolly so much. I've got that thing dropped awful high. That trailer's awful high, so I'm gonna go drop this off, and then we'll work on getting that down a little bit so I don't high hook it. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Welcome back to the vlog. Want to thank you so much for hitting that play button today. If you happen to be stopping in for the very first time, my name is Chuck. I am an LTL driver for a company called Estes Express. Here's some of our trucks right here on our yard. That's one of our new ones that we just got, this 79301. That is a twin axle. I talked to the driver who's been driving it. We've had it now for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, somewhere in there. I don't know how many miles are on it. Somebody else could have had it before we got it, but I think it came straight from Dallas, who got it all lined out and sent it to us. He said, Chuck, it drives like a dream. He goes, I wish we all had these. he goes, the only thing I don't like about it is it doesn't have bigger fuel tanks on it. All of our smaller trucks, all of our day cabs all have 75-gallon tanks on each side, most of them. And then these two big guys right here, these road trucks, they've got 225-gallon tanks on it. Because those are a lot of times, sometimes team trucks. But yeah, if you think about that truck and this truck, now I typically drive a Volvo 10-speed manual, that when you have a newer fleet like this truck over here and this truck here, versus the truck I normally drive. This truck I've driven many times to Kansas City and back. Drove it for a couple of months. This truck does it in about 30 gallons less of diesel fuel. 30 gallons there and back. So if you do that times 5, somebody do this for me and put it in the comments. So this is about $30 less per day as far as gallons of fuel to do the exact same run. My other truck is a 2015, 2016 10-speed Volvo. This one is a 2021 International LT. So if you do that over the course of a week, what is that, 150 gallons or so? Times, let's say $5, because we all know what diesel fuel is going for now. It's crazy. I'm sure Estes right here, Estes has some type of bulk rate. I'm sure it's better than what you're getting at a pump, but just say $5, you know, to be safe. How much is that per week? We're talking, I don't know, $750, somewhere in there, and then times that times 52. So this truck saves this company about $35,000 to $40,000 a year just in fuel. Not only that, it also rides really well too. Now take that times tens by literally thousands of older trucks that we have here that run line haul. I mean, like that old International there, I drove it. And some of the old Columbias. These newer ones get so much better fuel economy. So I say all that to say, hey, hopefully Estes gets some more new trucks, because not only do they ride well, but they save them serious bank. All right, guys, I am covering the Kansas City run for, I don't know how long, 6, 8, 10, 12 more weeks. I haven't made any videos because I don't want to bore you. Maybe once I get my truck back, I can try to work it out with one of the other line haul extra board guys to maybe let me go out for a week and they cover this run and we kind of swap around so that, you know, I don't have to do this every single week. But right here's my truck. I've got everything in here. We're ready to go. Let's get on to Kansas City. Now, there's been people that have asked me, Chuck, do you guys have assigned trucks? Well, I think it seems to be different terminal by terminal. Now, how it works at my terminal, and as we're passing the Hard Rock Casino out, you guys can see that over there. They just put all those glittery lights all over the side of it. But like at my terminal, when it comes to the line haul side of things, each run has an assigned truck. So like this Kansas City run, this truck I'm in right now is assigned to that run. Now let's say I had that Kansas City run and then I changed to Oklahoma City, Wichita. The way it is now, I would then go to that truck, whatever truck was assigned to that. Now, I have found that in a lot of other terminals like Dallas, what was another terminal I was in? I think it was Albuquerque. I can't remember, but there was something posted in there that said that trucks are assigned to drivers. So if you go from one run to another run, you keep your same truck, which is the way I think it should be. Because, you know, we get to learn these trucks, we know how they work, we know the noises they make, we know the gauges, all those things. So I think once you're assigned a truck as a line haul driver, you ought to just stick with that truck. Plus, if something happens to it, you know who did it. The only time a truck, like at the Dallas terminal, doesn't go with a driver, let's say that you're assigned a run that requires a twin axle. And there's nobody behind me, so we're going to stay in this left lane. Because the right lane ends as you get to the bottom of this hill over here. So if I was to go from like this run to another run that required a dual, then I would have to leave this truck and go to that other truck. That way it would be twin screw. But again, like I said, to answer your question, I think it seems to be terminal to terminal by case. That's just kind of how it is here. Now, if you're on the extra board at my terminal, you are assigned a truck and you keep that truck. So whenever, every week when you go out, you take that truck, unless, you know, in some case it's down for some reason. Then you would take, you know, a backup truck, one of the other trucks that we have there. All right, this is roughly the area that I was in when I seen the deer coming from over there into that center median that's right here that you guys can see. Hopefully you can see. I've got my brights on here. There's actually a car right behind me. They're probably using me as their deer guard, but yeah, I mean, I was, you know, just coming through here, and my LED lights are my bright is a little bit brighter than this, so I could see the movement come into the grass. And when I seen the movement, as it got closer to the street, they started slowing down. And I started slowing down because I just thought they were going to come flying out here. And matter of fact, it might have been right there. There's a bunch of blood there on the ground. But I was in this lane, and when they came out, I slowed down to what I perceived to be about, you know, 40 miles an hour, somewhere in that area. And then one of them was kind of still moving, and then all of a sudden he just bolted right out in front of me. And just, you know, I seen him come out. I mean, it's like, you know, where I was going slow enough where I could see him just as plain as day. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, it gets pretty dark out here. I mean, and there's nothing but wooded area on both sides. So, you know, I've, you know, hit raccoons out here, you know, all kinds of things. I was actually talking to another driver who ran this route quite a bit, and he was talking about how the guy who had this route for many years would hit, you know, 3 or 4 deer, it seemed like a year. So you got to be really careful out in these these areas like this U.S. highways. Yeah, you just you never know what's going to just come bolting out in front of you. And you know, something else I want to mention for maybe some of you who are newer drivers, or maybe you're about to get your CDL. You know, in the case of something coming out into your lane, it's quite natural for you to want to swerve. I mean, that's what you do in a car. If you were to see something, you could swerve real quick and get around it. But in a big truck like this, you can't do that. You know, no matter what it is, what it is you're going to hit, you don't swerve these trucks, because you trying to, swerve and then overcorrect. That's where you get tip overs. It's not gonna be a good thing. You're better off hitting whatever it is you're about to hit straight on versus trying to maneuver around it. Now that doesn't mean you can't, veer a little bit, but at the same time you want to maintain as much of a straight path that you possibly can. And you see trucks tipped over all the time. It could have been because a deer pulled out in front of them and they tried to swerve to miss it, or a dog or whatever. And in the process of doing that, you got all that shifting of all the weight that you have behind you. So you got to fight that urge to want to do that. You want to try to slow down as much as you can without locking everything up at the same time. But yeah, it's something that you can see right now, I don't have my brights on, and there's a car up there, but it's pretty pitch black out here. And, you really can't see a whole lot until you get up on it. And that's one of the dangers of driving at night. Now, on the extra board, I don't find myself on U.S. highways very often. Most of our terminals are off major interstates for the most part. But there are times we had to, you drive on these U.S. highways, and it's, there's not much traffic out here. And you're around a bunch of just sometimes wooded area or fields or anything. Anything could just come shooting in front of you at any time. But I'm going to show you the difference right here. So like right here, this is what it looks like when I'm just driving. I flick on my brights. Look how much more I can see. And out here, I'm able to use my brights quite often because, again, there's not a whole lot of traffic. So if there was something going on up there, I could start slowing down, slow enough to try to prevent some damage. So we'll see you guys. We're about 46 miles now. We're about 52 miles from the terminal. So I'll see you guys when we get there. See where it hit right there. Right here's deer. So yeah, it could have been a whole lot worse, that's for sure. Luckily it wasn't. All right. Well, I showed you guys the truck over there. Alright, so we're already pre-planned, which 95% of the time we usually are here in Kansas City. Dispatchers here do an amazing job having us ready. Dock guys, everybody. Just a really well efficient terminal here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, which way is that guy going? He's taking that set. He must be breaking this right here. No. Alright. I did take my seatbelt off so that this thing's not beeping all at me. What you want to do also is go around, check your tires real quick. This particular one, you got to turn this valve. You'll hear all this air shoot out. Basically releasing the brakes to that down there. trailer is 289,779. Right here. So what I'm going to do is right there's my rear trailer. I've got that thing dropped awful high. That trailer's awful high, so I'm gonna go drop this off, and then we'll work on getting that down a little bit so I don't high hook it. We'll drop this trailer right here. Now, this truck does have the automatic, so all you gotta do is make sure the brake's set and then hit the fifth wheel unlock. There it goes. Hit the suspension dump. Alright, our lead trailer is 288,843. Should be right around the corner here. Right here, 288,843. Turn my work light on. You can see they believe in putting the trailers tight. No one's coming. Go over here and back up to our dolly. And somehow see if I can't lower that landing gear a hair. I mean, it may be okay, but me close there. I think I'll be able to have enough room to be able to get in there and at least lower it down a hair. One guy used to say a skosh. This right here I do pick up. It's how the other guy You want to keep your hand away from this as much as you can. No-go zone. Go ahead and hook up my air lines. Electrical line. Just make sure when you do, you put this on here so you don't leak the air out. Turn this sideways because we want to trap that air back in the dolly. I think we'll be okay, but I'm gonna see. There we go. Didn't need much. I keep wanting to get in here and put my left foot down where the clutch should be. Okay. Yep, cut it a little too long. You don't have to hold that dolly long, that's for sure. There we go. Should be all good to go. Leave that red one pushed in. Put it in neutral. Because we're going to hook up, we've already got the air and everything hooked to the dolly. So all we got to do is go straight to the trailer with it. And this is going to make some noise. And that puts air to everything. You can hear the brakes back there. Whole 9 yards. So, okay, we're good there. We got our lights and everything. We'll check everything else once we get over to the, always make sure this right here is latched. Actually, I had a driver, this fell through, came straight through, severed his air lines and just stopped him dead in his tracks. So, always check that. Good there. We don't want to pull out of here and drop that whole trailer. Even though the landing gear's down. Alright, we're good to go there. The landing gear's a little off the ground, so I'm going to pull it out far enough for me to be able to get to it. Finish putting it up. And then we'll get out of everybody's way, go around and do a pre-trip on everything. We've already got our paperwork. We'll self-dispatch out. Well, guys, I think that's it. I'm going to shut it down. I know this video is probably long enough as it is. Sorry if you felt like it was clickbait. But, yeah, I'm going to be doing this for another probably 4 or 5 weeks. So I probably won't make any videos unless I get kicked out on the extra board somehow. Maybe one of the other guys will come in and take a week for me. But if not, I will see you guys when we head back out on the road. But until then, I hope each and every one of you have a blessed rest of your day. And remember this, life is truly short. Make sure you make it sweet. Peace.